Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who may have read the order of service will in fact realise I'm not a very poor quality avatar of Michael de Villiers, our chairman. We do have some similarities. We're both tall, we both got grey beards, so that's about as close as we can get. I am actually Chris Sangster, as introduced, in the flesh. I've been an NED of Ariana for nearly 5 years, and as introduced, I'm a mining engineer by profession. As some of you will know, Michael continues to have an ongoing eye problem, so I'm standing in at relatively short notice to give you the presentation today. We've titled today's presentation, Growing Our Exploration, Development and Production Portfolio, and I hope I can illuminate you a little bit more on that. Those of you who are familiar with the Ariana story will know that we've gone through a significant corporate transformation over the last 2 years or so, with the sale of part of our JV holdings in our production and exploration assets in Turkey for around $38 million prior to costs and tax. This represented the partial monetisation of our efforts during Chapter 1 of the Ariana story. During this transformational period, the company has taken the opportunity to commence writing Chapter 2 by developing its strategy for ongoing growth, and that is what I want to highlight today. Don't need to spend too long on that one, I'm sure you're quite familiar with that. Okay, to Ariana and its growth strategy. There are 5 essential pillars or thrusts to our ongoing growth strategy. We have a 23.5% holding in the producing Zenit joint venture, whose project pipeline should increase our direct production share to above 18,000 ounces of gold per year at significant margins within the next 5 years. We have a current 50% stake in Venus Minerals, who are looking to IPO shortly. Apart from significant exploration potential in the well-known Cyprus VMS district, they also have a 50% share of Hellenic Apliki Mines joint venture with near production at the old Apliki Mine copper project. We have a 75% interest in Western Tethian Resources, which is currently centred on Kosovo, but through the recent agreement with Newmont is expanding its search radius to prospective adjoining countries in the hunt for Tier 1 deposits. We have our proprietary project catalyst strategy through the Asgard Metals Fund, which seeks to invest in early stage exploration projects with rapid growth up the value curve. And finally, we have our own project generation division, whose current focus is on eastern Turkey on what we call Project Leopard. So what makes Ariana a little bit different from everyone else, or how we think so? We have a fully operational mine site that's been operating for 5 years in the first quartile of gold cash costs, hence generating significant margins for the JV partners. That has a project pipeline to increase production significantly over the next 5 years. We have multiple exploration partnership projects along the highly prolific Tethian metallogenic belt. We are also backed by our substantial margin producing assets. We have significant exposure, to significant exploration upside through our funding partnerships and also our project catalyst strategy. That exposure is geographically diverse and in politically stable jurisdictions. We also have a track record of improving the communities and environment to our stakeholders, and we have some impressive real ESG metrics relating to tons of carbon dioxide emitted per ounce of gold produced, which we estimate to be less than half the industry average. So to go through the pillars of our growth pattern, Ariana, as we said, holds 23.5% of the Zenit joint venture, which includes the producing Kızıltepe mine and the Tavşan and Salonbaş development projects. Whilst Ariana provides geological input to the JV, Procia provides project and operational management and the major partner, Azultim, underwrite development and provides an ability to move things forward in the echelons of power. A powerful partnership of the requisite skills to run a mining venture. The Zenith joint venture has produced revenue of $177 million today from the producing asset and is effectively debt-free, apart from a small outstanding loan relating to the recent plant expansion. The balance of that loan will be extinguished by mid-2023. The JV has at its disposal resources amounting to 2.1 million ounces of gold in the measured, indicated and inferred categories, in addition to significant exploration targets at each site, which will provide for potential extensions to all of the operations. A little more detail about our producing asset at Kizil Tepe, and also the next cab off the rank, which is the Taoshan project. Kizil Tepe has been in commercial production since July 2017 and has produced in excess of 100,000 ounces and 1.1 million ounces of silver at an average production rate of just over 21,000 ounces of gold and 200,000 ounces of silver a year. Cash costs are in the lower quartile at $490 per ounce to date. They have risen slightly to more closer to $600 per ounce with the decrease in grain mined, though this is somewhat offset by the recent processing plant expansion. That expansion lifted throughput from a nameplate capacity of 150,000 tonnes per annum to 400,000 tonnes per annum, and our experience has been that the plant normally achieves significantly above this nameplate capacity. Life of mine studies show production from reserves at Kizil Tepe to extend to 2025 at similar production rates of around 20 to 25,000 ounces per year. And there remains significant exploration target at Kizil Tepe and extensive unexplored vein structures throughout the licence areas, which will hopefully ensure a further extended mine life. Now to Taoshan, which is about 80 kilometres away from Kizil Tepe as the crow flies, and is to be developed substantially now as a standalone operation. Subsequent to the recent positive results of the environmental impact assessment and the completion of the land acquisition program, Taoshan is due to start construction imminently, pending the grant of the final permits from the government. And assuming the grant of these permits, initial project production is scheduled to start during 2023. Unlike Kizil Tepe, which has a conventional CIL plant, Taoshan will be a heap leach operation and is targeting around 30,000 ounces of gold production per year. Current resources under consideration for the project indicate a potential mine life of approximately 6 years. However, a substantial exploration target exists outside these resources, and our expectations are that the project will run for considerably longer should the exploration targets be proven to resources. Again, the cash costs are highly competitive, providing for a high margin operation generating cash for Ariana's ongoing growth plan, those costs being of the order of between $600 and $700 per ounce. The next one in the pipeline, the Sangster project, represents the largest potential within the joint venture portfolio, comprising the Sangster gold-silver project, the Ardala porphyry, Hizalyaila, and other prospective ground within the 3 licence areas. It's noted that these licence areas are very close to the Hod Maden project, about 10 to 15 kilometres away, which is host to 4 million ounces of gold equivalent. Sangster has a current measured, indicated and inferred resource in excess of 1.5 million ounces of gold, and again with significant exploration potential around. As part of the recent transaction, Azultim, the major partner in the joint venture, have committed to spending $8 million to bring the Sangster sector to feasibility study stage. The previous scoping study indicated attractive returns for an operation producing around 50,000 ounces of gold a year over a 10-year mine life. Initial environmental assessment is ongoing, as is drilling to further resource classification and expansion. Currently, production is estimated to commence in 2025, subject to permitting and other government factors. So, if we summarise our existing cash generating ability and that we see coming down the track, the shaded area shows the joint venture production rising to just under 80,000 ounces a year by 2026, and the solid line shows Ariana's share of that production at around 18,000 ounces per year within the next 5 years. And just to reiterate, these are high margin ounces. Our other near-term opportunity is held by Venus Minerals, who are hoping to IPO shortly. AAU Ariana owns 50% of Venus currently. Venus have a joint venture with the Yakovu Group, a large Cypriot construction company, and looking to develop the Pliki heap leach copper project using the SXEW plant from the old Skouryatissa mine. Venus also hold a number of exploration licenses in Cyprus over prime VMS territory, the most important of which cover the Magellan project, which is an advanced stage with substantial resources already defined at Kokinoya, Kliru and New Shah. Whilst gold has been known to occur in some of the Cyprus VMS deposit, it was really rarely sampled for, and recent drilling at Kokinoya has highlighted the potential gold contribution to these resources, and the intersection there being 129 metres, 0.5% copper and 0.55 gram per tonne gold. So to put our position into perspective, we have growing production and revenue from the joint venture in Turkey underpinning our exploration efforts, near-term production in Cyprus as well as high exploitation potential for additional copper, gold and zinc deposits. So now to the dedicated exploration part of our portfolio. Our other areas of focus are on the western end of the Tethyan metallogenic belt through Western Tethyan Resources, and our own project generation division, whose attentions are currently focused mainly on eastern Turkey. As the map shows, we have local teams with boots on the ground over a large part of one of the world's most prolific metallogenic belts. Western Tethyan Resources, of which I'm non-exec chairman, is currently 75% owned by Ariana and is focused on copper-gold projects in southeastern Europe, including Bosnia, Bulgaria, Greece, Kosovo, North Macedonia and Serbia. Western Tethyan holds 3 licenses itself in Kosovo, with a further 3 under review. Significantly, its efforts are endorsed by Newmont Mining, by the Newmont Mining Exploration Alliance, with dedicated funding of $2.5 million through its investment in Ariana, to be spent over the next 5 years in southeastern Europe, including Kosovo. This endorsement underpins our strategy of looking for sizable assets in highly prospective regions, as Newmont are only interested in significant assets, tier 1 assets. This is reflected in the structure of the agreement, with the smaller scale assets reverting to WTR, subject to an NSR, and those assets would be smaller than 2 million ounces. We also have the benefit of Newmont's extensive regional database, built up over a number of decades to further assist our targeting in the region. To our own generative exploration, the Tethyan metallogenic belt, as it traverses eastern Turkey, is the current focus of Ariana's project generation division. The arcs running through this region are host to a number of multi-million ounce gold deposits and copper gold deposits. Project Leopard is looking to identify areas of interest through its proprietary geoscientific databases, and also with the assistance of Newmont's Turkish database. Ariana is again actively seeking to acquire majority interests in potential projects or participate in the recently announced government auctions to secure ground. The last pillar of our growth strategy is the Asgard Metals Fund, which was financed to the tune of $2 million by previous successful investments in technology and other metals through companies such as Royal Road Minerals, Kingston Resources and Exor, which was formerly Dakota Minerals. The fund invests through a combination of cash investment and expertise through consulting time into listed or soon to list companies who are targeting large-scale discovery opportunities. The fund has made 3 investments to date. The first in Panther Metals Australia, who recently listed on the ASX and are targeting nickel, cobalt and gold in Western Australia and the Northern Territories. The second one in Palace Minerals, who are unlisted, who are seeking giant orogenic gold and sedimentary copper deposits on the Tethyan Belt in Kazakhstan. And the last and most recent in Anamite, an unlisted company looking for copper gold porphyries in Laos, and who recently started drilling on their flagship project. So, coming towards the end, a couple more slides and then we can question and have some coffee. Everyone's no doubt looking forward to the coffee break. What is Ariana? We discover mineral resources faster, better and more competitively than our peers. The why is because we are successful and profitable at it. Our where is the Tethyan metallogenic belt, as is shown in the slide, and currently the western section with its highly prolific terrain. The how is by utilising cutting-edge technologies in our teams, such as portable XRF and more recently the box scan unit. We have a discovery cost per gold ounce of around 1/5 of the industry average. We use and support locally based distributed teams to maximise productive time and minimise our environmental footprint. And as an aside, you might notice the quote down on the bottom right of the slide here from Richard Shoddy regarding the Tethyan metallogenic belt. It is where you get the best bang for your buck. That's why we're there. There's a 33% chance of making a better chance of making a profitable discovery. For those of you who may not know Ariana, Michael de Villiers, who is here today with the eye patch on looking like a pirate, is our chairman. Dr. Kerem Senna, our CEO and founder, who is currently in Western Australia, though due to visit the UK in the next month. William Payne, non-executive director and CFO, and myself as a non-executive director. A couple of the pertinent company facts. We have cash on hand at the moment of around 14 million from the proceeds of our sell down of our joint venture interest. The company is owned nearly 10% by directors and employees. And then we also have Newmont Mining as a 4% shareholder backing our exploration and other strategies. So to finish off, with 20 years of success, innovative broad-based exploration and development plans, supported by profitable cash-positive operations, and collaborating with industry-leading partners, Ariana is well placed to yield Tier 1 asset exploration success in the coming years to continue its growth. Let Chapter 2 begin. Thank you very much.